You have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them.
Rogue detected.
Alright guys, welcome back to another Division 2 build video. I'm not going to take too long. This is effectively the build that you can run. The whole premise of this build is close range combat, playing around corners, confusing them with your holographic distraction or your decoy, and knowing where they are using the pulses you would have seen in one of the intro clips. Effectively, all this is doing is giving you time. And what I mean by that is you're pumping out a substantial amount of damage when you look at the stats. 173 credit damage, 56% credit chance. The Ouroboros in itself, you know, massive high fire rate, substantial burst damage. Combining that with the stacks that you get from your striker build, and then the adrenaline that kicks in as soon as an enemy pushes you with Unbreakable, just in case you mess up, it really just improves the probability of you coming out of the engagement unscathed. I'm also running a shield splinterer because you do get some, you know, longer range engagements, and having that 4% with Perfect Optimist on it with 4% really does help, especially if you've got the fire rate of the striker set and some stacks to back that up. I'm running the backup boomstick. I just play this all the time because it just gives me that additional armor when I need it, because it's got the preservation talent on it. If I'm clearing landmarks and, you know, I'm down on armor and I don't want to use a med kit, I'll get an enemy low and just, you know, shoot them with this to regenerate some of the armor. In terms of each of the pieces, the striker pieces are all kind of like, you know, rolled with crit hit damage, and they're not perfect, as you can tell. Crit hit damage, crit hit damage, crit hit damage, crit hit damage. And what we've got on the Grupo is the 15% additional crit hit damage that you get. I've got some weapon handling on there. It's not a perfect mod, unfortunately. If you could, I would put in more crit hit chance on that, if possible, which would allow you to run, you know, an AR with a higher crit chance, because you're already getting so substantial amount of crit chance from SMGs anyway. But it would allow you, when you switch to something like a FAMAS or something like a shield splinterer or F2000 or whatever, to kind of like get that same credit chance value up there. There's no point in running headshot damage unless that's your thing for this, but there we go. That's what we have. We're playing Unbreakable because, as I mentioned earlier, if you make a mistake, you just have that possibility that at the moment that when your Unbreakable procs, you also get your adrenaline back, which gives you almost like 70% of your armor anyway. So it just helps with the burst damage to give you a second chance to kind of fix your mistake and move along. And then of course we've got the crit chance coming from the Seska. That's why everything else is rolled on crit damage. We're running crit damage on this as well, and we rolled crit chance on this because I was a bit low. Now again, if you got this piece with crit hit chance on it, over here you could, you know, change crit hit chance for weapon handling or for headshot damage, depending on on how you play, but at the moment it doesn't really matter because we're playing with the Ouroboros and we've got enough crit chance to go around. So that's effectively what it is. Just run the Striker build with, you know, all crit hit damage on it. And it's not even perfectly optimized. If we calculate this, this is going to give us another, what's that, 2%. This is going to give us another 1%. That's 3. This is going to give us, if we get the mods, 3.5. So we should get to 3.5. We'll get another 4% crit damage on this. So this will push this to around almost 180 if this is perfectly optimized. As I've mentioned earlier, I run the holographic because of the distraction. It's just so confusing seeing that massive nameplate, you know, when you're trying to engage around a corner. They just don't know where you are. It just buys you that extra second of time to, you know, get that burst out. Combining that with Unbreakable, with Adrenaline, it just gives you that edge, especially on one-on-one engagements. And if you can, multiple engagements, depending on if they all push you at the same time or not. I would not advise that because your mag is low, you're doing a lot of burst damage on a single player, but then again, that's why Adrenaline's there, so that if more players are pushing you, you can get additional bonus armor, you know, from the talent. So that kind of helps out. I just like pulsing, you know. I would also suggest something that I found useful is to play with the sticky bomb, especially if you're trying to heal. Just shoot it around the corner where you are. Don't detonate it yet. As they come closer and you've done your heal, detonate it, jump away, and you can shoot again. It's all about, you know, how you play the game. Now, I just want to be very clear. This is a build video. This is not how to be good at PvP. I'm still learning things every single day. So if you think this build is going to revolutionize how you are as a PvP player, you're mistaking it. And any YouTuber that tells you that a build is going to make the player is lying. That's just not the way it is. You need to get into the dark zone or in conflict or whatever. You need to learn how players play, how they move, how they shoot while they move. Many of them just move to the one side, which makes headshots very, very easily if you guys are engaging each other. A lot of them do a bit of burst damage and then move around, burst damage, move around. And ultimately, if you mimic what they do with this build in an engagement, you should come out on top, unless they're running something and they've got the tenacity buff or something. You might struggle, but you need to adjust and play according to what, you know, is in front of you. We're running Gunner because of the additional armor and you know, the benefits that comes with this. I think there's like 5% reload or 5% fire rate buff as well to this. I don't know, I haven't done this in a while, and personally you can change this for the fire specialization, whatever, for the better med kits, or even the rocket launcher, so that when your Unbreakable procs, your mag reloads, which make this even more lethal. But I just prefer having armor on kill. Guys, I'm not going to waste your time even further. This is my shade level. Make sure it's above 1,000 so you get all the benefits that I do. Here's the stats one more time. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think. I'll show you the burst damage quickly on elite enemy, because first of all, in the dark zone, you will find players that's not necessarily on a named level in here. That's why I usually test my build against elites in here first. So let's just build all of our stats. That's what was that? That was like 15 meters. But anyway, let's just build it on this. So you can one clip, you know, at this level. They're dishing around 9 million. Now, if you go to a named enemy, let's say someone's running an armor regen build, they've got a lot of armor, you can deal with them in 2 clips. So you're looking at like playing 1, 2. Because of the reload is so quickly, it's simple for you to go in there and just do a lot of do not have a lot of room to engage with. The point is, you're going to do a lot of damage if you hit your shots. You've got a lot of support to sustain yourself, and I hope you guys enjoy the build. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Let me know if you run the Memento, if you would run something else. I did think about running the SMG. What is it called again? I can't remember these names, man. The Sokolov. I thought about running the Sokolov as well. I mean, you can run that with Panda on it, which is quite nice and Intimidate. And but then you won't have that kind of sustain, which I prefer. but there's a lot of variations of this that you can play between these two. I mean, adding concussion onto this, believe it or not, with obliterate here is bizarre as well. If just to give you guys an idea, where is it? That's a one clip. That's a one clipped on an enemy. 13 million. So the variations of this is bizarre, but in real life application of this is just shooting a dummy, you know, so it doesn't really make sense. Obliterate is great, a concussion is great, and adding both of those things to the build is not going to be bad, but you're going to, you know, drop down on the crit chance a bit, but you can still do a substantial amount of damage with this. And if you believe that an offense is better than a great defense, then go ahead, but I prefer having the build with Unbreakable on there with Adrenaline, just because of the way I play. Feel free to adjust it the way you do. Let me know how you do it, what else you would run. Let me know how it goes. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.